During the Full Send podcast, guest Tucker Carlson shared his views on American politics, journalism, big tech, his personal background, and cultural issues. During the conversation, Carlson expressed his concern about the possibility of a major conflict breaking out, particularly as nations continue to engage in economic competition, territorial disputes, and ideological differences. He noted that the rise of China and its military capabilities, as well as Russia's aggressive behavior, are causes for alarm, and that the United States needs to be prepared for any potential threats. The group also discussed the role of the United States in preventing a global conflict, with Carlson advocating for a strong military presence and a clear foreign policy strategy. He argued that the U.S. should prioritize its own interests and focus on maintaining its power and influence in the world, rather than trying to police and intervene in other countries. The hosts of the Full Send podcast also shared their views on the subject, with some expressing a more skeptical or fatalistic perspective about the possibility of another world war. During the conversation, one of the hosts asked Tucker Carlson if he believed in aliens or extraterrestrial life. Carlson responded that he was open to the idea, but that he had not seen any evidence to support it. He also joked that if aliens were to visit Earth, they would likely be disappointed by the state of humanity and the planet. The group then briefly discussed the possibility of life existing on other planets, or in other galaxies, with some of the hosts expressing their belief in extraterrestrial life and others remaining skeptical. Carlson noted that the universe is vast and largely unexplored, and that it is possible that life could exist in forms that we have not yet imagined. Carlson has been a vocal critic of the Biden administration, particularly its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and its immigration policies. He has argued that the government's response to the pandemic has been ineffective and has led to a lack of trust in public health officials. He has also criticized the administration's immigration policies, arguing that they are endangering American citizens and contributing to a crisis at the southern border. In terms of the future of the Republican Party, Carlson has argued that the party needs to be more responsive to the concerns of working-class Americans and less focused on the interests of big business and Wall Street. He has criticized the party's failure to address issues like income inequality and the decline of the middle class, and he has argued that the party needs to embrace a more populist agenda. Carlson has also been critical of the media's role in shaping public opinion and its bias against conservative viewpoints. He has argued that the media has become more partisan and biased in recent years and that this bias has contributed to a lack of trust in the media among many Americans. Tucker Carlson talked about the role of the media in shaping public opinion, with a particular focus on the decline of journalism and the need for more diverse perspectives in news coverage. Carlson has argued that the media has become more partisan and biased in recent years, with many news organizations presenting information in a way that is intended to influence viewers' opinions rather than simply reporting the facts. He has criticized the media's focus on sensationalism and clickbait, arguing that this has contributed to a decline in journalistic standards and a lack of trust in the media. Carlson has also criticized the trend of consolidation in the media industry and the resulting lack of diversity in news coverage. He has argued that the consolidation of media companies has led to a homogenization of perspectives and a reduction in the number of voices and perspectives that are represented in the media. To address these issues, Carlson has called for a greater emphasis on independent media organizations that are not beholden to political or corporate interests, and that can provide a wider range of perspectives on important issues. He has also emphasized the importance of supporting local news organizations and investing in journalism education to ensure that future generations of journalists are trained to be objective and responsible. During the Full Send podcast episode, Tucker Carlson discussed the impact of big tech companies on free speech and democracy, with a particular focus on the power and influence of social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook. Carlson has argued that big tech companies, particularly social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook, have become too powerful and influential in American society, with the ability to control the flow of information and shape public opinion. He has criticized the concentration of power among a small number of tech companies and their lack of accountability to the public. In terms of social media, Carlson has criticized the bias and censorship of conservative voices on these platforms. He has argued that social media companies are often biased against conservative viewpoints and are engaged in censorship of conservative voices. He has also criticized the tendency of these platforms to label certain viewpoints as misinformation or hate speech, without providing clear guidelines for what constitutes these terms. Carlson has emphasized the importance of protecting free speech and preventing the suppression of certain viewpoints, arguing that this is essential for the functioning of democracy. He has also discussed the need for greater regulation of big tech companies to ensure that they are accountable to the public and not able to abuse their power. Tucker also talks about his personal background and career journey in journalism and media, including his early influences and experiences working at various news organizations. Carlson grew up in a family of journalists. His father was a reporter, and his mother was an artist and political commentator. He attended Trinity College in Connecticut, where he studied history and graduated with a degree in 1991. Carlson began his career in journalism as a fact-checker for the Weekly Standard, a conservative magazine. He later became a reporter for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and the New York Times Magazine, where he covered a wide range of topics including politics, culture, and foreign affairs. In the late 1990s, Carlson began his career as a television commentator, appearing on various news programs and talk shows. He became a regular contributor to CNN's Crossfire in 2000, where he often clashed with his liberal co-hosts. He later moved to MSNBC, where he hosted his own show, Tucker, from 2005 to 2008. In 2009, Carlson joined Fox News as a contributor and commentator. He has hosted several shows on the network, including Fox and Friends Weekend, Tucker Carlson Tonight, and Tucker Carlson Today. He is known for his conservative views and his outspoken commentary on politics and culture. Throughout his career, Carlson has been influenced by a variety of people and experiences. He has cited his father as a major influence on his interest in journalism and politics, as well as the conservative commentator William F. Buckley Jr. and the British journalist and author Christopher Hitchens. He also discussed his views on cultural issues such as identity politics, cancel culture, and the role of race in American society. Carlson has been a vocal critic of identity politics, arguing that it has created a society in which people are defined by their race or other characteristics rather than their individual qualities or achievements. He has criticized the tendency of identity politics to promote division and conflict rather than unity and shared values. Similarly, Carlson has criticized cancel culture and its impact on free speech and open discourse. He has argued that cancel culture has created a climate of fear in which people are afraid to express their true opinions and ideas. He has also criticized the tendency of cancel culture to silence voices that challenge prevailing orthodoxy or challenge the status quo. In terms of race, Carlson has argued that race should not be the primary factor in determining a person's opportunities or experiences. He has criticized the tendency of some people to use accusations of racism as a way of silencing opposing viewpoints or advancing their own agendas. At the same time, Carlson has acknowledged the need to address issues of racism and discrimination in American society, while cautioning against the tendency to view everything through the lens of race. Check out the full podcast by clicking the link in the description below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for listening to the Pod Slice.